State Bank is the official banking partner of Thompson Athletics. Are you looking for a local banking partner to meet your personal, business, or mortgage needs? Look no further than Central State Bank. Call or stop by a branch today. I can't go any further without bringing in the new voice of the Thompson Warriors, Matthew Moyer. Matthew, this isn't a typical Thursday night in Alabaster because we've got a big-time football game this evening to kick off a season full of expectations and goals.
We sure do. It is an absolutely beautiful night for football. Grayson has made their way. The Rams have made their way from Georgia. And we are in for one whale of a matchup tonight, Tim. Really excited to be here. Great way to kick off the 2024 season.
Absolutely. Our Warrior Nation Network color analyst is two-time state champion, John Lunsford. John, how are you seeing the action tonight? It should be a good one.
It should be. These are two of the top teams, not only in their respective states, but in the country. Grayson came in as a higher-ranked team before they lost last week. In a nail-biter, they lost that first game to Collins Hill, and Thompson starting things off as one of the higher-ranked teams in the country as well, as they typically are. And both of these teams are looking to bounce back from disappointing ends to last season, not something we typically have dealt with Thompson in the last 4 or 5 years, but they are looking to bounce back, and I'm glad football is finally back. Not quite Friday Night Lights yet, but we're getting close to that here as the lights are on, the teams and bands are walking out on the field, and I can't wait.
The only thing better than a Friday night ball game is to know that you're waking up with a Thursday night win on Friday morning. That's the way to go. I'll eventually get my thoughts right. We've got Matthew, who's got tonight's starting lineup presented by Abide Roofing. At Abide Roofing, they understand that your home is the most valuable asset, and they're committed to protecting it with top-quality roofing solutions. Whether you need roof repairs, replacements, or installations, their team of experienced professionals delivers exceptional service and lasting results. Matthew, who are we set to see under the lights tonight?
On the offensive side of the ball for the Warriors, under center, Trent Seaborn. He's our sophomore quarterback. Michael Dujan gets the start at running back. Brandon Saylor, A.J. Williams, Dylan Marquez, Gregory Gipper, and Jackson Hughes along the front line. Our wide receivers this evening, Angel Jones, Price Lewis, Brooks Byers, and Trey Knight. And that's your offensive side of the ball for your Thompson Warriors. On the defensive side of the ball, Jared Smith, Nick Alston, Hayden McDonald, and Cam Pritchett will make up our defensive line. Our linebacking crew, Trent McCorvey, Trent Cheatham, and Vinny Pyers. And in the defensive backfield, Anquan Newboy Fegans, Peyton Lewis, DeMonte Tab, and Micah Fleming.
There we have it. That's the Abide Roofing starting lineup. Call today for all your roofing needs at 205-941-6223. Matthew, you mentioned a lot of big-time names there. After all those practices throughout this offseason, you've got to realize that these players tonight, they're ready to finally get started with the season and hit somebody else.
There is no doubt about it. They are ready to go. I had a chance to take in the pep rally earlier today. The roof barely stayed on that gymnasium. These guys are fired up and ready to go. Had a chance to talk to quite a few of them. Theme of the year, Redemption Tour. So something to look for there. They want to bring that trophy back home.
I would be very worried about squaring up with this team in either category, offense or defense. There's so much more to get into here on the Warrior Nation Network in mere moments as we are set to see the Rams, who have traveled across state lines to be here tonight, taking the field against your Thompson Warriors. Let's talk about some of the weather conditions in tonight's contest, as it's currently 82 degrees with just a 5% chance of any rain tonight, winds staying below 10 miles per hour. This weather report is brought to you by Rental Men. At Rental Men, it's their goal to be your best choice for large and small equipment rental and sales. With locations in Calera, Pell City, Decatur, and Tuscaloosa, they can serve all residential and commercial customers across the state of Alabama. Call them today for all of your equipment needs. We'll be right back, right here on the Warrior Nation Network.
Poto's Boutique is a proud sponsor of Thompson Athletics. Ladies, are you looking for a casual and cute outfits, accessories, or the newest fashion trends? Podos has you covered. Follow us at Podos Boutique on Facebook and Instagram, or stop by our store on Highway 31 in Calera.
I'm Dr. Michael Patterson, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine. I've been fortunate since I've been an Alabaster to be the team physician for Thompson High School. Been there 14 years. Basically take care of the athlete, and that includes ankle sprains to shoulder injuries to neck and back injuries that occur during sports. We also have training room out of those schools. We're there to evaluate their injuries and make sure they can safely return to sports, and we try to provide, again, the best care anywhere in the country at Thompson High School. Go Warriors!
At Southeastern Pond Management, our experienced team treats pond management like an art as well as a science. From stocking to electrofishing to weed control and liming, we're here to partner with you and make the most of your property. Since our beginning, we have produced healthy ponds that families have enjoyed for generations. We take pride in getting to know you, understanding your goals, and maximizing your pond's potential. Because, let's be honest, when it is all said and done, life is about the simple things, like enjoying the outdoors with the ones that matter the most. So let us take care of the rest. Southeastern Pond Management, managing your liquid assets since 1989.
Welcome back in to our Warrior Nation Network pregame show here on the Warrior Nation Network at warriornationnetwork.org. We have introduced both Matthew and John here in the booth. I am Tim Melton, your host all season long. Down on the field for us is our sideline reporter this season, Christina Chambers. Welcome in, Christina.
Well, guys, I'm excited to be here with you guys this season. I've been covering Thompson since 2015, but one of the things that stood out to me that Coach Freeman talked about this season is the character that this team has. He says it's unlike any other team that he's ever coached, especially when he compares it to years past. You talked about the redemption tour. These guys, they know what it takes to win a championship. They know what it takes to get there, and he believes that the character of this team will pay off down the road. He says their effort at practice, they're encouraging. He says he doesn't have anyone that brings the team down at practice. They all want the same thing, and that's to win. Yes, they have these first two games. They're young, but he says the experience that they're going to get these first two games is going to pay dividends down the road the rest of the season.
Thank you so much, Christina. We look forward to checking in with you throughout the course of tonight's contest. It is now time for Keys to Victory, presented by Encore. Our thanks to the Encore Sports Medicine athletic trainers and physical therapists for providing our athletic training coverage today and every day. Encore is the official sports medicine and rehabilitation provider for Thompson Athletics and the Alabama High School Athletic Association. John Lunsford, our color analyst, with those Keys to Victory.
All right, so to start things off, you got to stay on schedule offensively. You know this game plan has been worked on for a while. First game of the season. Mark Freeman and the whole coaching staff have done a great job building this offense to have a plan in place to go out there, put points on the board, and try to control the tempo and control this game. Overall, you've got to stay on schedule offensively. Luckily, you have a veteran quarterback. I know it's weird being a 10th grade quarterback, but you have a veteran quarterback who can help you minimize turnovers, because Trent has done a great job the last couple of seasons with a great arm, helping to run that offense. He has done a great job of overall minimizing turnovers with this offense, because a lot of times you think with a young quarterback you're going to end up throwing some picks, but Trent does an incredible job with that and does a great job with this offense as a whole. And number 3, weather the storm. Grayson comes in. They are a tough team, and just because they're 0-1 so far this season does not mean that Thompson needs to count them out. They have been one of the top teams in Georgia. They have been one of the top teams in the country over the last decade or so coming out of the state of Georgia, and you've got to be able to weather the storm. If they're able to get some points on the board early, don't let it affect you. The last time Thompson went to go play a team out of Georgia, they played Buford, also a green and gold team just like Grayson. But that game was over in Milton. You could tell being on the road in another state kind of affected Thompson a little bit. and they've been able to play some out-of-state competition since then. They've been able to obviously win championships since then and play a lot of tough teams. And, look, with the talent they've played not only here in 7A Region 3, but the talent they've played in Clay Chalkville the last couple of years, and, of course, the talent they've played in Central Auburn in the championship, you've got to be able to weather the storm. Even if you're to get down, just keep pushing forward, stick to your game plan, and put some points on the board and try to win the game.
Matthew, Collins Hill stunned state title favorite Grayson in their season opener last week, 20-19. It was a dominant first half for Grayson, but they were outscored 17-0 in the second half at home. You have to believe this team is also looking for their own kind of redemption as they're looking to avoid that 0-2 start to the season.
Yeah, they sure are. And a couple extra points that were missed in that first half could have been the game changer. Grayson ended up winning the game after a couple of long rain and lightning delays, winning the game on a 2-point attempt with just about a minute left to go in the game. And so, yeah, you've got to figure these guys want to pick back up and get things pointed in the right direction. So we absolutely have to be focused and ready to go tonight.
John, one thing I'd like to point out with this Thompson Warriors offseason was the addition of a coach. Former South Alabama head coach Joey Jones didn't necessarily maybe expect to be on this staff at any point, but here he is, and he's adding a lot to this Thompson Warriors coaching staff for sure.
Yeah, I know a little bit about Joey Jones. He was my college football head coach at Birmingham Southern, was also, believe it or not, my Little League baseball coach when I was playing pitching machine back in the day, I think when I was 7 years old.
So you're the one responsible for him coming here.
I'm not going to say that, but a lot of experience with Coach Jones, and he's always been incredible with me. Did a great job Birmingham Southern, left Birmingham Southern, obviously go to South Alabama and start that program there. Created 2 programs. Birmingham Southern built up. They were conference champions, had a really good run there. The school aside, as a football team, had a really successful overall time there in about the 15 years they had that program. And then obviously South Alabama building that up to be an FBS program in the Sun Belt. So he has a lot of coaching experience, and if anything, comes from Alabama where he learned a lot as well there under Coach Stallings. So he has a very much a great pedigree, and I can't wait to see what he's able to add to this team.
Matthew, this Thompson Warriors team is being promoted and built as a very fun team to watch, and it should be electric, especially to see them on the offensive side of the ball, hopefully putting up a lot of points this season. What do you feel like makes tonight's matchup in particular such an intriguing one for those that maybe aren't coming in with all the storylines to this top-tier level matchup to kick off the season?
Well, everyone keeps touting Atkinson from Georgia. He is their linebacker, only defensive player in the nation to have an NIL deal. It is with Adidas, and gifted the rest of his team some cleats. But when you look at the Warriors on the offensive side of the ball, one of the guys that I'm really going to keep my eyes on is Angel Jones. I think he is in for an incredible breakout season. Michael Dujon, it is his turn. This is his backfield now, and I think he is in for an excellent season as well. Going to be really exciting for me to see those two guys. And as John alluded to, Trent Seaborn is a seasoned veteran quarterback, which is hard to say, exactly like he said, as a 15-year-old sophomore. But he is in his 3rd year in this system. He and Coach Freeman have an incredible repertoire with one another, and I think that stability, along with Dujon, Angel Jones, and others pitching in on that offensive side of the ball, are going to make this a very exciting offense to watch.
Coach Freeman has known Trent since Trent was in the 2nd grade. That type of chemistry, that type of trust is so important when you have a young man that you've trusted with leading your offense, John.
Yeah, and that was only the year before he started here, too. So, yeah.
Hey, I'm supposed to be the funny one.
No, but, I mean, yeah, I echo everything that Matthew just said. And, having that trust with each other. And, look, obviously, when you look at Trent's past and the work that Mark did with Talia back in the day as well, he's been known to be able to work really well with some really great quarterbacks. And just look at the lineage of Thompson quarterbacks that are playing college football right now. Talia at Alabama, and then Maryland, Connor Harrell up in North Carolina. There's just a great run here, and he's only in 10th grade, so there's still time to help build that repertoire even more.
We are getting ready for our national anthem. presented by those marching Southern sounds that will be happening here very shortly, as we are prepared to bring you all of the game's action as soon as things kick off. Let's now go ahead and pay our respects to the country with the playing of our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the presentation of colors by the Alabama 932nd Air Warriors Air Force Junior ROTC unit at Thompson High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the playing of our national anthem, presented by the Thompson High School Marching Southern Sounds.
Welcome to Thompson Warrior Football, a legacy of excellence. Carried through today and for generations to come. Bringing you the action tonight is the play-by-play voice of the Warriors, Matthew Moyer, color analyst and two-time state champion John Lunsford, Warrior Nation Network host Tim Melton, and Christina Chambers bringing us the action from the sideline. This is Thompson Football on the Warrior Nation Network.
Avenge. It comes from the Latin word vindicare and the Old French word avengir. It means to take vengeance for or on behalf of, to exact satisfaction by punishing the wrongdoer. In speaking with our Warriors prior to tonight's game, each of them mentioned that this year is all about redemption and bringing the state championship trophy back to its rightful home right here at Thompson High School. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Thompson and Warrior Field, home of our Thompson Warriors. Tonight's opponent, the Rams from Grayson High School. And as we welcome in our broadcast partner, John Lunsford, the quest for the ring begins tonight.
I cannot wait. This is definitely a year where they are looking to avenge what happened last season. Losing to Central Phoenix City is not how they saw it, especially 2 years before that. Beating Central pretty good there at Protective Stadium. And guess what? They turned around and started with the Georgia team, and it helped them build to winning a state championship down in Auburn. And I'm looking forward to the same thing happening this year, taking on an incredible Grayson team. Don't let that loss on their record fool you. This is a great way to start the season, and I'm so happy we're at home under the lights to start here.
Yes, sir. And John, as a two-time state champion yourself, what does a 3.5, 4 hour bus ride do to a team as they head into a huge matchup like we have here tonight at Warrior Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, just traveling from North Alabama down to Mobile, that's been a tough ride there, and it weighs on you. It's a lot different when you're completely in your home environment. And, you know, look, Thompson did have to deal with that 2 years ago, traveling up to Milton to take on Buford in that first game a couple of seasons ago. And, you know, we saw, I think, the effect it had on Thompson in that game. And so you have got to come out strong. We talked about it at Keys of Victory. Stay on schedule. Offensively, you've created a plan. A lot of times they'll kind of build in what those first few plays will be and stick to it. And if you can come out and kind of punch them in the mouth right off the bat, then you put Grayson behind the eight ball, and they are in a tough position trying to play comeback after they've already been on the bus for that long.
That is exactly right. And Santavius Bryant, the head coach of the Grayson Rams, in his second season at 28 years old, he was under a name that may sound familiar to quite a few, Josh Niblett. He was up at Gainesville, Georgia with him for a year before taking over the Rams. Thoughts on a young coach coming into this type of atmosphere on ESPN? He's really they went 11-3, so that's 14 and one more. So this is his 16th game as a head coach at 28 years old, and it just happens to be in Alabaster against our Thompson Warriors.
Good luck. That's all I got to say. That's a tough game when you're that young of a head coach, and it's not his first game. But obviously we know the lineage that Josh Niblett had here at Hoover and has continued that success at Gainesville. So, just because he's young doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to football. Doesn't mean he doesn't know how to coach up these guys. And high school players, I've played for old coaches, I've played for young coaches. The older coaches I've had have been really good. But overall, I like playing for younger coaches. It just fits more. I feel like they understand me more as a high schooler, especially in today's day and age with NIL even existing in high school.
That's
for
right.
A lot of these people. As you're building yourself as a player, as a human being, as a man, that's just something that you can connect well with them, and it may help build a pretty good team there for Grayson. A team that, by the way, didn't need any help. They were already pretty good to begin with.
He didn't come with a bare cupboard, that's for sure.
Not at all.
On the other side of the field, Coach Mark Freeman, as you get ready to start your season, start the redemption tour for your players, and I'm not sure that he's quite on board with that, but he's very supportive as a coach. What do you want to see in this first quarter, even maybe in the first 5 to 6 to 7 minutes from your team?
I want to see good fundamentals. Bottom line, if you can play good, sound, fundamental football, you're going to ultimately win games. That's something that I always worked on way more than the actual play calling, way more than the finesse of the game. Yes, it's a game of inches. Yes, obviously you have to get the play calls right. You have to run the right routes. You have to block the right assignments. But bottom line, if you can stick to the fundamentals, you don't make mistakes, you don't commit penalties, because that's something that has been a problem the last couple of years for Thompson in a couple of key games is penalties. You get up to double digits, and that little 5 yards here or 10 yards there starts affecting you, and next thing you know, you find yourself losing all of a sudden. So good fundamental football in the first quarter. If you've done that, and if you have a lead to boot, then, okay, we've started the way we need to start.
And I know we have had the coin toss, but do you want the ball first, or do you want to play defense first?
See, playing on offense, I always wanted the ball first.
Yes,
I don't care about strategy. Right. I just want to take the ball, and I want to score as fast as possible because, yeah, you get the ball in defense. You then put the pressure on them if you stop them. But the minute you get that ball, you go down, you score. That's always what I want to do because then they're playing from behind the entire time as long as you keep it going.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
I'm a little biased, though.
I understand, and that's okay. We're moments away from kickoff. Warriors in their silver helmets, red jerseys with the white numeral in the back and the black outline, gray pants, red and white stripes. The visitors from Grayson, Georgia, the Rams, gold helmets and all white uniforms. Absolutely beautiful night for opening night.
It is, and two marquee teams. You mentioned Josh Niblett. They're playing down the road, and Moody as well. So this is not the only game in the state, but obviously it's the one we care about when it comes to Thompson football. And, I mean, you look across the way there, and that's a good football team. You got one right here in front of us with a good football team as well. What better way?
And make sure that you tune in to ESPN for the video. Tune back in to the Warrior Nation Network for our post-game show. We are just about to get things underway here at Warrior Stadium. Final thoughts before we get this game kicked off?
I'm ready. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to get things going. And Thompson's going to be kicking off here to start things off. And, yeah, I'm just ready for this defense to come out. There's a lot of players we've all been intrigued to talk about in the offseason, especially from a college football standpoint with Anquan Fagans and Jarrett Smith, both from his defense, committing to Auburn. I know Auburn's excited. Auburn fans are excited to watch this game.
Yes.
And to watch some of their future prospects, and obviously a lot of Georgia players that could end up ultimately going to schools in Georgia that they're also watching this. So what better way than on national TV to showcase these two teams?
And speaking of those commits, one of them is getting